We are 10 days from that chime being played in Pittsburgh. 10 days to the draft, so we put together 10 questions you need answered, and we run through them for you this morning on Get Up. Hey, Damian Woody, the Cowboys have 12 and 20 in the first round, 2 first-round picks. Should they go defense on both of those selections?
Yes, they absolutely should. They still, even with all the moves that they made last year, they need multiple players on the defensive side if they want this defense to be anywhere close to being a team that could help them get back to the postseason.
Because I'm hearing the possibility, well, I shouldn't say I'm hearing this as a possibility. I'm hearing a lot of fans saying maybe they try and package that or do something and move up and get one of the, there were some real star players in this draft, like a Sonny Styles, you mentioned him before, an off-the-ball linebacker that the Cowboys could really use. Do you have any sense about the Cowboys' possibility of moving around in this class?
No, look, the Cowboys are patient and strategic with the way they draft. So I would say if they're absolutely in love with Sonny Styles and feel like it's worth trading 2 first-round picks to go up and get him, I wouldn't put it past him. But I also would find that to be unusual behavior because I don't think they probably view themselves as Sonny Styles away from where they want to be.
Right.
And therefore, 12 and 20, you're likely to get 2 very good players on the defensive side of the ball that can help you a lot, not just this year, but in years to come. So I guess my answer would be if the guy they're in love with gets a little closer to 12, then maybe you're able to make a move with a later round pick. But to trade 2 firsts, that would have to be the difference maker that takes you from good to championship great.
I will remind everyone the Cowboys traded back in the first round the year they took Micah Parsons.
Correct.
That was actually a move back.
With the Eagles.
Yeah, with the Eagles of all things.
Yeah.
Could the Cowboys, is there a player sitting there you think the Cowboys should be considering making an aggressive move for Dominique?
Yeah, I think there are a few impactful defensive players. If any of them slide, I think the Cowboys should consider moving up. I feel like I am like Rueben Bain's agent today because he's the one who I think has a chance of potentially sliding a little bit. And if the Cowboys could package those picks to move up and get him, I think he's an impactful enough player that it'd be worth considering. If not, they can hang around and maybe the corners will be around by the time they get to 12, both of those corners that are really good. And there's some really talented D linemen like Caleb Banks, who's injured, who's going to fall way, way down in the first round. I think maybe the second round that could help that team out a lot.
The corners are Mansour Delane and Jermod McCoy. McCoy has injury questions. And then there's also the safety, Caleb Downs, who a lot of people just love. But safety is a complicated position. I can think of another impactful defensive player the Cowboys could consider trying to trade for, and he's on our screen right now. Dan, is there any reason to believe the Cleveland Browns will entertain trading Defensive Player of the Year Myles Garrett?
There is not. I think there's a lot of people out there that wonder why not, considering what you could probably get for him. But the Browns have been steadfast and adamant that they have no interest in trading Myles Garrett. Even last year when he was publicly asking for a trade, they said that, gave him a new contract. I think it's more likely that Myles Garrett gets another contract bump from the Browns this offseason than gets traded.
What do you think of this, D-Wood?
He should have been traded last year. He should have been traded last year. And if you're the Browns, listen, Myles Garrett had a historic season last year. Where did they get the Browns? Nowhere, absolutely nowhere. Because until they solve the problem at quarterback, this organization is going nowhere. You need assets to continue to build out this team. They have a lot of holes, and he's their most tradable commodity on that roster.
What do you think, Dominique? You tend to sometimes have a contrarian position. Almost everyone I talk to thinks the Browns should try and turn Myles Garrett into a treasure trove of draft picks. What do you think?
Yeah, I hate to let you down, Greeny, but I don't have a contrarian position on this one. I think the Browns are probably not a serious contender, and we've been robbed of having one of the greatest defensive players of all time have any realistic, serious playoff run. I'd love to see Myles Garrett on a contender. The challenge with that is, though, contenders tend not to have a lot of high first-round picks to trade, so it's hard to find a team that's both close and has enough compensation to be worth getting Myles Garrett and the cap space to fit in his contract.
It's interesting because I was thinking that as we were having the beginning part of this conversation. If Myles Garrett had won a Super Bowl, had been a Super Bowl MVP, would we be talking about him? Who are the greatest pass rushers of all time? Lawrence Taylor, Reggie White, whatever the list is. We all know who they are. Like, he belongs in that conversation. He's that level of good. Sure. But we've never seen him on a half-decent team. He has 99.5 career sacks on teams with losing records. Thank you, Hembo, the most in NFL history. That's why we need Hembo so badly. I would love to see it both for his side of it and for the Browns side of it. Hey, quickly, Neek, let me get one more question in. Kansas City picks at 9. Do you think if you're them, do you go offense or defense with that selection?
I mean, I guess you have to be open to whatever is there, but I really think they need defense. Like, this is where they lost a bunch of their talent, and I think they've decided offensively to go more into a traditional rushing attack. So weapons there that haven't worked out are still there that they can work on making it happen. They don't have a bad receiving core, and they're bringing back Travis Kelce. I'd love for them to address the defense first.
I'll believe Andy Reid's going to a traditional rushing attack when I see it, and not before. I think they draft offensive playmaker there. They have pick 29, pick 40. There's defensive players in those spots that can help them.
I think they need defense. As much as we talk about Patrick Mahomes and his brilliance, it's really been the defense that's really been the catalyst for them winning these championships. They've got a lot of pieces that's graduated from the program. They need to start replenishing that side of the ball.
I'll say this at 9. Write down the name Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end
that's what I'm talking
out of
about.
Oregon.
Yeah.
The Chiefs have had one of the great tight ends of all time for all these years in Travis Kelce. As his career comes to an end, maybe they replace him with a kid who is an athletic freak. Dominique Foxworth is shaking his head. We'll talk about it later. I got to jump on that.
No.
Coming up, is Atlanta...
Look at this. The NFL draft, but a couple days away. Randy, we are going to be in Pittsburgh. And when I say we are going to be, I don't mean we.
Hey, we're available.
Matt Miller is going to be there. He released his final rankings for the 2026 draft class. Yes, Jeremiah Love, who Miller calls the closest prospect to Reggie Bush since Reggie Bush. Love scored 21 touchdowns this past season, a Notre Dame record. Next up, projected #1 overall pick Fernando Mendoza, the 2025 Heisman winner, leading FBS in passing scores en route to Major College Football's first 16-0 season since Yale did it in 1894. Rounding out the top 3, Ohio State safety Caleb Downs, recipient of the 2025 Jim Thorpe Award. Downs did not allow a single touchdown as the primary defender in 2 seasons in Columbus with the Buckeyes. Come on. That was his top 3 prospect list, and now our draft expert in the middle of a move. Matt Miller joins us this morning. Matt, fantastic to see you. Less than 2 weeks away. Why could the first round be a repeat of Aaron Rodgers for one quarterback?
Yeah, it absolutely could be for Ty Simpson, and we hope that's not the case, that he's hanging out in the green room in Pittsburgh for too long. But like the Aaron Rodgers draft when Alex Smith went #1 overall, we could see a wait for the Alabama quarterback. Less hair gel this time around for Ty Simpson, but it's hard to find that spot for him in round 1 unless a team, maybe the Arizona Cardinals, maybe it's the New York Jets, trades back into round 1. It's a game of musical chairs. When you look at these quarterback landing spots, so many teams like the Miami Dolphins have answered their question at quarterback by making a move before the draft. And that is not great news for Ty Simpson. As we look to see where will he ultimately land, it's hard to find that spot right now logically for a team that could make him a #1 pick, a first-round pick. So we'll be waiting to see, do the Cardinals, do the Jets, does someone, maybe a surprise team like the Pittsburgh Steelers, come back into round 1 to grab Ty Simpson. But that is the story of the draft, not the #1 quarterback. It's the #2 quarterback in this draft that is the big question mark.
All right, let's get to the defensive side of the football because Ohio State linebacker Sonny Styles was one of the prospects, Matt, that you were most excited about to watch before the Combine. As long as we're talking pro comps, right? Ty Simpson to Aaron Rodgers. Who does Sonny Styles remind you the most of at the pro level?
Yeah, one of the best linebackers in the NFL. This is a fun one. Fred Warner is who I get when I'm watching Sonny Styles. To see a linebacker with 6'4" height, great range, great length, 4.4 speed. Styles, a former safety, moved to the linebacker position, basically outgrew the safety spot at Ohio State. They bump him down to linebacker, and all he does is just everything. But then he's been an impact as a pass rusher. He's been in coverage. He only had 1 missed tackle all last season. So he is that type of player that could be that Fred Warner, that all-pro green dot wearing linebacker that should be a top 10 pick in this year's draft.
All he does is everything? Draft gets going April 23rd. Mr. Everything, draft analyst, moving coordinator, and expert, Matt Miller.
If you're in around the area, he's giving pizza and beer. Go help him out.
Bring your truck.